Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. It is Sunday, early morning Sunday. Everyone is fast asleep upstairs and I'm down here making a video because I didn't do a video yesterday because we had family over and I didn't want to be rude and run away and film something, especially with the amount of time it's taking with my daughter's laptop at the moment. I hope you've all had an amazing weekend with friends and family and loved ones. I hope you've just had an awesome bit of downtime because I think that's what weekends are about. At least they are for me. I like a bit of downtime. I like to chill out on the weekend and just relax, relax from the hectic week that we've all had. Today we are reacting to Visit America, the don'ts of living in the the don'ts of visiting the USA. As a lot of you may know, I really want to come and visit the States soon. I want to come on a holiday. I'm thinking it's probably going to be about mid to end of 2024 because there's 4 of us and it's going to cost an arm and a leg. I'm giving myself a bit of time to put some money away. But I think knowledge is power. As far as when you visit somewhere, there's customs in every country that you don't want to offend anybody, and I think hopefully this video is going to teach me what not to do when I'm over there. So that's what we're going to get into. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and if you're feeling extra frisky, you may as well hit the like button as well. I do have a buy me a coffee page down in the description. If you want to buy me a coffee just to give a bit of support to the channel, that'll be amazing, but please don't feel like you need to. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the don'ts of visiting the USA.
Hey fellow travelers, Mark here with Walter's World, and today we're in Mystic, Connecticut, in a beautiful place here in the U.S. And today what we have for you are the don'ts of visiting the U.S. because anywhere you go in the world, there's things you should do, but there's also things you shouldn't do. And this video is going to just cover the U.S. in general, okay? And our first don't for when you visit the U.S. is don't touch the Americans. Look, Americans really like their personal space. It's like they have a bubble around.
I thought that was everywhere. I don't want to go around touching people. I don't want to be touched either. So you got my vote there. I won't touch you. Don't touch me.
Around them, and if you get too close to them, they feel very, 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 very uncomfortable. Okay,
It makes
so
2 of us.
make sure you give them a little distance when you are there. You know, because I know when I go to Italy and Spain and stuff, be like, Mark, how's it going? All this stuff, and my American friends sometimes go, wow, they're really, really affectionate. Like that's just how it is. Here, space is key. The second don't I have for you is don't count on public transportation. Look, when we were in China and we were in throughout
think that's
Europe and South
everywhere as
America,
well.
we took buses and trains and planes and all kinds of stuff to get all over the place because public transport is really developed. Here in the U.S., you cannot count on public transport to get you a lot of places.
I didn't think that. I thought the public transport system over there would be pretty good because, I mean, it's a big country. I know you guys have got awesome long freeways, though. So I'd probably rent a car when I'm over there anyway.
Yes, in big cities like New York and Chicago and stuff like that, you can get around for the public transport and it'll take you where you want to go. But a lot of towns, small towns especially, in middle-sized cities, the public transportation networks are not very good. And at night, sometimes it's not very safe. So that is kind of a frustrating thing. So yes, you're going to probably have to rent a car when you come here. Okay?
Yeah, I want to do that anyway,
so
Walter.
heads up for that. And that kind of leads into the next don't I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States.
I'm guilty of this. You all know I'm guilty of this. I've done this a few times. I've been called out on it a few times, and I am taking note now. So thank you to everyone who's pointed out and just given me a bit of a smack in the face to realize how big it is.
I have for you is don't underestimate the size of the U.S. The United States, it's, continental U.S. is like continental Europe. It's huge. I mean, would you think of driving from, I'm going to do, go from Lisbon to Paris and then go up to Tallinn and then head down to Sofia? No, you're like, that is insanely far. It's the same thing when you come to the U.S. I mean, a lot of travelers that are like, I'm going to fly into New York,
Holy
grab a car.
crap. We drove from England to Slovakia, and I think it was 1,200 miles or something stupid like that. So that just puts it into some sort of perspective. We went through 4 different countries. Well, obviously England, France. Did we go through Belgium? Yeah, we did. Germany, Czech Republic, then obviously into Slovakia.
Or drive down to Miami to see Miami Beach, and then head over to LA. I'm like, dude, you got 2 weeks? You're gonna spend the entire time in cars. The distances here are insane. So what I recommend is picking a region. So, we're going to stay here in New England and see New England.
So many of you guys have said this as well, and I'm taking your advice on board, and we are going to pick a region. We obviously haven't done that yet, but when we do, I'll let you know.
Or we're going to go in the southeast, go to Atlanta and Savannah and Charleston, things like that, or visit the West Coast. You do that to get a better idea of the culture there and things like that, but also it's just the logistics things because it's so far between the places. And to go along with that, for Americans, a 3 to 4 hour drive, that's a day trip. Like my parents live 3 hours away. I will literally get up, go drive, have lunch with my mom, and then drive back home just for lunch. 6 hours in the car. No big deal. It's about 7 hours when we start
That's
to think,
insane.
That kind of is a long drive. And we drive the entire way through. Okay, this isn't like, I must stop every 2 hours and have a 15-minute break. Oh, no. No. We drive all the way through, okay? Now, my next don't for you when you come here is don't think that the sticker price is the end price. Look, in the U.S., we have sales tax.
This
I know
is
other
something that I
countries
need to get my
have
head
VAT,
around.
value-added taxes. They're already put into the price of products. So when you see, it's $1 or €1, I only pay €1. In the U.S., it is not like that. We have sales tax, so a certain percentage is added onto that product. And the thing is, I cannot tell you what the sales tax will be where you're going to travel because it's different everywhere. Cities, states, counties, different products have different sales taxes, and some products don't have sales taxes. Some cities don't have sales taxes. Some have 10% sales.
That is so confusing. I didn't know that. I knew about the sales tax, but I didn't know it was different in everywhere you. That is mental. How am I going to keep?
Different
That's
anywhere
hard.
You go. So if you're going to go get your dollar menu item at a McDonald's or a Culver's or a wherever, it's not going to be $1. Where I live, there's 2 cities right by where I live. One, it's going to be $1.08. The other one, it's going to be $1.09. So be ready for that. And it's not just the sales tax. Also, there could be the tipping on top. And that leads us into the 5th don't, and that is don't forget to tip. Look, in the U.S., you tip 15 to 20% at a sit-down restaurant, okay? Now, McDonald's, stuff like that, no, you don't tip at a fast food place, but it's a sit-down restaurant where they bring you your food and stuff like that, you will tip them 15 to 20%. If you are in a group of 6 people or more, sometimes they automatically put the gratuity on there, which sometimes can be 18% or something like that. Look, when you come to the U.S., there's a reason why the food is like so affordable. You're like, wow, it's cheap to go out and eat in the U.S. It's because there's kind of this understanding that the service fees and paying for the workers and the waitresses and stuff like that, that goes on to you, the person eating there, with the tips. So the food and stuff can be cheaper when you go out to eat. And I know a lot of people say, I don't believe in tipping, and this tipping isn't the...
Yeah, but you have to tip. I tip. Even now, where I am in Europe, we're in Slovakia, and every time we go for a coffee or something, I tip. Because I've worked in a bar and stuff before. You know how crap you get paid, really. So a little bit of tipping is, I think you have to anyway.
The right thing. They should pay their people more. Well, if you want to pay more for your food, they can do that, but they don't. Okay, so tipping is something we do here in the U.S. So do tip that 15 to 20%. Oh, also, if you're at a bar and you're buying drinks, you're gonna want to tip a couple dollars here and there. Otherwise, the bartender might not be too quick to come back and get you your next drink. So following off of those tips, what you need to realize is our next don't is don't be freaked out by the over-the-top service and free stuff you sometimes get in the U.S. Look, because of tipping and commissions and stuff like that, yes, there is a lot of over-the-top service here. But the thing is, in the U.S., the people actually are pretty nice and they want to help people. And sometimes for some travelers, if they come from countries where people don't get a lot of service sometimes, it can be a bit much, so don't freak out about it.
Oh, look at that lobster. That looks amazing. I need some lobster in my life.
Don't be freaked out with some of the free stuff you get when you go to restaurants. Look, if you go to a restaurant and they bring you bread and water or chips and salsa and all those really good things, that's included in your meal. Okay, so if you're going to be buying something, they're going to give you some free stuff. It might be some bread, it might be a salad, it might be a water, it might be something like that. So don't be like shocked when like, wait, I didn't order this bread, I didn't order this salad. Oh no, that comes with your meal. Okay. Now the thing is though, you can't just go in and get chips and salsa and walk out. All right, you actually have to order some food when you go there. Now my next don't for you is don't smoke cigarettes in the U.S. If you're smoking cigarettes in the U.S., people will look at you like you're trying to kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally verboten, like people really frown upon it.
I'm an ex-smoker. I've stopped smoking. Jeez, it's been a long time. I do have the occasional vape now. I stopped vaping last year for a while, but every now and then I get that little bit of stress. I'll have a hit of of a vape. But yeah, I don't smoke, and I don't like purely because we got children and I didn't want them growing up around it. So I don't mind if people smoke, but I do get a bit wound up when it's blowing right into my kids' faces or it's somewhere inappropriate, really. But it's their life, do what they want, but good to know.
Kill their baby. Cigarettes is like totally forbidden, like people really frown upon it, which is funny because when they talk about marijuana and stuff like that, people don't seem to care as much, but cigarettes, oh, you're trying to kill my baby with that cigarette 2 blocks away. So if you do smoke, make sure you try to find a place where you can smoke, because a lot of restaurants, or pretty much all restaurants, hotels, stuff like that, have smoke-free. It's smoke-free, so you have to go like 15 to 20 feet away from doing things, so that can be something. So I've come here outside my favorite liquor store to give you the next don't, and that is don't try to buy alcohol unless you're 21, or cigarettes unless you're 18 or over in the US. They will not sell them to you. And the thing is, don't forget your ID, because if you look like you're 40 or under, they may ask you for that. And don't get mad at them, because if they don't ask, they could get in trouble and get fined. So don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry.
I cannot remember the last time I was ID'd, so I think I'd be very pleasantly, like, it would be welcome. I'd feel very young.
Don't be surprised, because we've had friends that have come here, try to buy alcohol, and they're like, sorry, you don't look old enough. Oh, I don't have my ID. Too bad. And the thing is, it's not just the person buying. They might ask anybody with you, so make sure everybody has their ID if they want to buy liquor, or they want to buy, well, they want to buy alcohol, or if they want to buy cigarettes. So just FYI on that one. Oh, that's also another don't I have for you is don't bother with a metric system when you come here. We don't use, we don't use meters, we don't use kilometers, we don't use liters. It is inches, feet, miles, gallons.
That is something that is going to confuse the life out of me. Absolutely going to confuse the life out of me. Like, because I've grown up in South Africa, so
miles, gallons,
kilometers,
pounds, things like that. And
sorry, let me pause. 1 gallon is 3.78 liters. See, I would never know that. 1 yard, 1 mile. No, I sort of know the mile. Pound, not a clue. Ounces, clueless.
Put a conversion chart here to show you, but honestly, you may say, hey, how far is it to this next town? And they'll tell you, oh, it's like 60 miles. You're like, what's that? Just know 60 miles.
Yeah, miles, I think I'm around.
Kilometers, okay? So just do that, because the people here won't get it. I mean, I have people, when I'll tell them, oh, it's 100 meters away, they're like, 100 meters? It's like 100 yards. Oh, okay. So make sure you do know your imperial system, okay? Because metric, we don't do that so much here.
I'll have to write it on the back of my hand.
When you do come to the U.S., there's a couple things you don't talk about, okay? 1 is gun control, and 2 is politics, because no matter where you are, you will get people on either side of the spectrum, and they will have an argument with you. So it's best just to lay off those topics. Talk about the weather. Oh, wouldn't it be nice if it was sunny today?
I won't talk about that stuff anyway. There's no way. Yeah, I'll get into that kind of argument, because it's not my place, firstly. It's not my country. I have no say on how things are run there, so I will keep my mouth shut about stuff like that.
It's just to lay off those topics.
Imagine going there and starting a gun control conversation.
We can go sailing. Yes, that would be much better than discussing gun control or politics. Just putting that one out there for you right now. Now, my next don't for you is don't assume that all the U.S. and all the Americans are the same. Because I know a lot of people say, oh, you're a typical American. Well, it's like saying you're a typical European. Look, the U.S. has all kinds of different cultures, all kinds of different people, all kinds of different topography and scenery and stuff like that. And when you come here, don't assume it's all the same. You will see regional differences in cuisines and how people treat each other and how everything looks, all kinds of stuff. So don't just think there's just one kind of American. They're all fat, slobby guys with ponytails. No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too. Not just
I love this guy.
Like me.
I've watched his channel for a few videos of, like, because he came to Slovakia as well, where I live now. So I did watch his Slovakia video at least as well. He's really entertaining. He seems like such a nice guy as well.
No, there's actually a lot of skinny people in America too. Not just fat guys like me and my buddy Jeff.
You're not fat, mate. You're big bone.
It's all the same, all right? So do go out and explore. And that's why I always say is if you're going to come to the U.S., go and explore different regions because you'll get a really different feel. Because going to the southeast and seeing the plantation homes and going to see the southern towns down there versus going to the northwest and Seattle and Portland, or going to San Francisco, or going to the Midwest with Chicago and Milwaukee, you're going to have a very different feel, which is really a cool thing to do. And you start to understand is, wow, the U.S. does have a lot of different cultures within it, a lot of different feelings when you go around here. And following on with that, I guess I would say another don't is don't assume there's no culture in the U.S. because there are a lot of cultural centers out there. If you go down to New Orleans, you see a very rich culture there. You go to New York or Boston, here in New England, you have a very distinct culture. In the Midwest with Chicago, Milwaukee, you go to the West Coast. I mean, there's a lot of different culture here. Historic culture with the Native Americans, or more recent culture here. I mean, you have all that here you can really take in. And saying there's no culture in the U.S., it's not really true because there are all these different cultural centers with great museums like the Art Institute of Chicago or the Met in New York, the Getty in LA. There's all kinds of stuff you can see and do when you are here. For a cultural trip, it's not just seeing beautiful landscapes and seascapes like we are here in Connecticut. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, my next don't for you is one that I kind of get a lot of questions about. We actually have a video on this, and that is, don't think that how are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going...
Yeah, I do this though. I'm guilty of this because I ask anybody. Like, I don't say how are you. Like, someone will greet me. I'll be like, oh, you're alright. Like, that's it for me. End of conversation. When they want to talk, yeah, I'm fine. I don't care. I'm just greeting you. I don't want to know your life story.
How are you or how's it going is actually a question. Look, when we say how's it going, how are you, these kind of things in the U.S., it's not a question, it's a statement. It's like saying hi. Okay, just take it as a hi. Because a lot of people say this. Everyone asks me how I'm doing. When I try to tell them how I'm feeling, they're like, well,
walk away.
How are you? Here, how are you is just hi. Think of it that way. It's like in France. Ça va? Ça va. How's it going? How's it going? We're good to go. In Portuguese, tudo bem, everything good? You answer back, tudo bem, everything good. It's just, how are you? How are you? You move on, okay? So don't think it's an actual question, all right? Now, another don't I have for you is don't expect a lot at the fancy hotels. You know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to pay more money for this hotel. I'm probably going to get nicer stuff, like a nicer breakfast, better Wi-Fi. Oh, no, 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 no. For some reason in the U.S., it seems like the nicer the hotel, the more you have to pay for the things that you think would be free, like Wi-Fi and breakfast. So don't feel like you have to stay at the fancy hotels, because honestly, if you're going to be going out and exploring, you just need a couple beds, right? So
I want to really try to stay in a dodgy motel, because I've seen them on TV, on YouTube and that, and they look so dodgy, but I think it'll be a hell of an experience.
The hotels in the U.S. and the cheaper ones will give you free Wi-Fi, free breakfast, all these kind of things, which is really nice, so don't expect that from the fancy hotels. Another don't I have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's what I want to come. Like, one of the main reasons, apart from the outdoors and the, like he said, the scenery and stuff, I want to come and try the food. Not the bloody McDonald's or Burger King and stuff like that, although I do want to try Popeye's chicken because I've seen that and it looks pretty good. But other than that, I want to taste local food, the food like people, like the little back alley restaurants and stuff. I think that's the best way to explore a country, is to try the local cuisine, like how the locals make it, because I don't know, it just gives you, it tells a story, doesn't it?
Have for you is don't skip out on the local food. Look, we're here in New England. We're here in Connecticut.
Muscle.
We've been having lobster and clams and oh my God, the New England clam chowder.
So
oh, my tummy is just like more. It's fantastic. And when I'm in the South, man, Southern fried chicken, mac and cheese, barbecue. Oh my God.
I want to go to a boil.
The food in the different regions in the U.S. are great. So don't just go to chain restaurants. When you go to your hotel, ask them, hey, what's some local restaurants around here? What's some locally owned and operated restaurants, so you can go there and check out those places, because they really give you a great experience. And I find a lot of times those ones actually have better service than the chain restaurants, because it's a mom and pop place where the owner is the ones helping you out, and that is really kind of a cool thing. Now, my next don't for you is don't get sick. Look, healthcare in the U.S. is insanely expensive, and just because you come from another country doesn't mean they're not going to find you for the bill. All right, so if you're going to be coming here, make sure you get travel insurance or trip insurance, so in case you do get sick or you do break an ankle or you do break an arm or something happens to you, your insurance will cover it. Now, you might have to pay it first and your insurance pays you back, but at least you'll get something back, because healthcare here in the U.S. is insanely expensive. Okay, so make sure you're prepared for that.
That's what really worries me as well, because I've got 2 young kids, and Garen, my son, is a tearaway. He will run and jump off things, and I'm like, if I go to the States with him and he hurts himself, it'll bankrupt me, because the prices, I've seen some videos on people getting medical bills for stuff like a snake bite or something, and it's just out of this world expensive. It's not something I have much experience with, because we covered here in Slovakia. We pay our medical insurance every month, which is, it's not a great deal of money. And like since I've lived here in Slovakia, which is coming up to 3 years, I think I've had about 6 MRIs to check, because they're trying to fix my spine and find out why I'm getting chest. It's a long story, and like I don't worry about it. I go in, I get it done, and that's it. I come home, it's all taken care of. The one thing that we do pay for, obviously, is dentistry. Dentists cost a lot, I think, wherever you are, and I hate the dentist. It's like paying for torture, isn't it? But yeah, I've got to be super careful. I've got to find a really good insurance, because it's not something I want to risk.
And I guess my last don't I'm going to have for you is one that people actually got mad at me for when I lived in other countries, when I told them the U.S. has 50 states. And they said, no, the U.S. has 52 states. Look, don't think the U.S. has 52 states. The U.S. has 50 states, okay? Just a heads up on that one. I'm sure that people are going to be commenting down below that when I was in school, they told me 52. No, there's 48 on the mainland, and then Alaska and Hawaii are 49 and 50, all right? So, those are our don'ts.
I've never heard that there was 52. Never heard that there was 52.
What are some of the don'ts you have for the U.S.? Because I know there's more out there.
Yeah, that's something I want to know from you guys. Stick it down in the comments. What are your don'ts? What do you recommend I do and I don't? Well, more importantly, what do I not do to offend anybody? My life now, like I've mentioned before, I'm not about trying to offend anybody or piss anybody off. I'm a happy guy. I want everyone around me to be happy. I don't want to wind anybody up. Life's too short to wind people up and piss them off. So I don't want to come over there and cause any faux pas or whatever you want to say, or make any mistakes that are going to offend anybody. So that's something that's really important to me wherever I go, not just the US. When I came to Slovakia, the same questions were asked. How do I not wind people up? If there's something that I do that is going to cause offense, like I even said to my missus the other day, because when I'm driving, I always give a thumbs up to someone if they let me out or something. And I know some places in the world, thumbs up might be rude, and I've been doing it for 3 years. I said to my missus the other day, it's not rude, is it, when I'm showing people like, oh, cheers, mate, thanks for letting me out, sort of thing. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you haven't done so already, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're feeling extra frisky, you may as well hit the like button as well. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.